Well, hello, beautiful people. I'm back. I haven't really streamed in like a long time, um, but I'm back. I have my brand new setup. I think it's pretty slick, um, but I guess only time will tell. I actually have a two-monitor setup now on my desktop, which is yay, so much fun. Um, and I do have like a decent mic. So, I think it's a decent mic. Oh, hopefully it sounds good. But, yeah, so today we're just going to be setting up Linux. Yep. Let me turn music on so it's not like it sounds terrible. Let me turn some like Mario music. I don't know. Something like that. No. How about... Forget this is a directional mic. You have to be careful. No. Let's put some like Christian kind of music, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what. Okay. Okay, hopefully that sounds decent and not crazy loud. Maybe it'll be better if I just put some like lo-fi music or something. Jazz. I don't know. I know I don't like jazz when I'm playing drums, but jazz. Playlist. Yeah, that's a vibe. I need to see if this is fine. I should probably get off this. Alrighty. Well, I guess we're getting let's do that. I guess we're getting some lyrics. No. Stop. Oh my gosh. Okay, we need to figure out. Oh, my computer is not very happy right now. We need to figure out if it sounds decent. And then we'll get a okay. Let's see if this is good. It's weird jazz. Yeah. Okay. It sounds fine. It sounds great. I'm so smiley. So smiley right now. I don't think we have any viewers. So if we do, just join the chat. Feel free. Moderation activity and timestamps. Yep. Cool. Okay. So starting out, I'm just gonna go through like the basic process of installing Linux. So essentially installing Linux or installing any sort of operating system is really not as hard as people might make it out to be. I'm gonna turn this music down. Yeah, so it's really not as hard as people make it out to be. I know like some distributions of Linux can be pretty hard. But not all the distributions. Some distributions are actually pretty easy. So we're probably just going to do an easier distribution today, like Ubuntu or Linux Mint, as those are actually pretty easy. So essentially, what you want to do is figure out the... Okay, you know what? I'm just going to pull up VirtualBox. Let's pull up VirtualBox. Yep. Okay. Do we have chat on both? Okay, that chat is tiny. Yeah, chat is tiny. No. Let's make it a little bigger. Real bigger. Copy. Paste. No. 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 Paste. Reference. There we go. Which means... Bingo! Chat's big. Oh, but we don't have, fancy schmancy little, like thingamabob. Let's add that. Paste reference. Let's shove that right in the middle. Yeah. Right on top of me. That works. Don't look the prettiest, but yep, that works. Okay, so essentially, yeah, I gotta see if it was giving me an error, so concurrent viewers, poor. It's fine. It is fine. Okay. I'll figure that out later. It's saying it needed to have a lower resolution, but I don't care. Screw that. Okay, so essentially, what you're gonna need to do in deciding, like, what you want to switch over to, what distribution, is probably figure it out. I know, real shocker, but I would suggest an easier one like Linux Mint or Ubuntu, but there are lots that are quite easy. Bazzite for gaming, Arch for like sweaty nerds, stuff like that. But I would suggest setting up a virtual machine just like this, so you can actually get used to the operating machine, or the OS right before like you commit to the switch. But yeah, I'm sorry, I haven't talked in front of a camera in forever. But yeah, okay, so let's make a new machine. Let's name this test Linux. Yep, that works. ISO. Ubuntu. No, let's choose a other. Let's choose Linux Mint. Yep. Open. Yep, so I got it right here, or type Linux. It doesn't really care. Doesn't really matter. Username. Let's name it Fartface. Password 1234. 1234. Yeah, most secure password around. We don't need the guest editions. We will give it lots of RAM though. Let's give it that. Yeah, 4 processors. Yep, that works. Let's give it for 50 gigs. Might as well. Unintended install. Oh yeah, spaces. Don't like that very much. Okay, underscores it doesn't like either. So, finish. Okay. So, now I have my dummy computer, right? My dummy computer that doesn't actually, I guess it does have the operating system, but it does not have anything installed yet. So what you want to do when you are trying to figure out what operating system, you want to grab a flash drive. I don't have a flash drive with me, but at least 4 to 8 gigs, depending on the operating system. 4 gigs should suffice, but 4 to 8 gigs, and you want to install a tool like, do I have Rufus installed? I do. Yes. So you want to have a device like Rufus installed. You can also use Balena Etcher. Pretty sure I have that one. No, I don't. But yeah, so you want to install a device, not a device. You don't want to install something like this. Yeah, so just go to Rufus, download. Just like so. Yep. So we have this website, Rufus, and from there you can just download the exe file. Nothing too crazy. You download that. I would suggest just downloading the portable version. So yeah, you download that, and then you get that installed. Once you get that installed, you have this right here. Once you have flash drive plugged into the computer, the device will show up the flash drive, like 4 gigs, 5 or 4, 8 gigs, whatever. And then from there, you want to choose your ISO file. Now let me see. Let me try to find an ISO file for y'all. So I'm gonna be using Linux Mint for this demonstration. So here we go. So just Linux Mint, linuxmint.com. Might change depending. You can also use the archive version. It doesn't really matter. Just try to check and make sure it's not a fishy looking email. Not email, website. So yeah, it doesn't. So for like Cinnamon or XFCE, it doesn't really matter. It's just how it looks. So whatever one looks good to you. There are like lighter ones that don't have as many packages. So if you don't have very much storage, go with something like this. And this is just like iconic, kind of like Ubuntu look, but. Yep, you can go to, or download just the Cinnamon edition. So this one's 3 gigs, so a 4 gig flash drive would work. Let's see, USA. Just pick one of the servers. One of them where it's kind of like in your region. Let's download this, put it in the place where you want it, such as. Yeah, just like make a folder name, VMs or something like that. I already have the file, so it doesn't matter. So I'd go over to here, do select, and choose my file. But yeah, so you go like that, Linux Mint, and it doesn't. These don't actually necessarily matter. So once you have the flash drive plugged in. You pick your ISO, pick your correct device, and then once it's ready, you press start. It should take, I don't know, 10-15 minutes, depending on how fast your flash drive is or how fast your computer is. It should take a little bit, and then after that, you unplug it from your computer, and then turn your computer off. Yeah, so once you have your computer off, actually, yeah, you can use your phone for this, but you figure out how to boot into BIOS. So booting into BIOS is different for a whole bunch of computers. It could be F1, F3, delete key. So what you want to do is figure out for your specific computer what that key is. So for me, it's delete, I'm pretty sure. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's just ideal for privacy. But anyways, so you just need to find out the BIOS key to get into the BIOS. Ooh, do we have? You're number 1 right now, Caroline. Anyways, You want to find out which key to get into the BIOS. For me, it's delete. So once your computer starts and you see the flash screen of the motherboard like Dell or Lenovo or whatever, just start mashing that key. Start mashing that key, and then it should boot into the BIOS. Now the BIOS, for those who might not know, let me just show like a quick example. For me, it is Asus motherboard BIOS. Let's see. Let me just show y'all. So your BIOS should look something like this. So nothing too crazy. It's just a bunch of black text, nothing like, yeah. So once you get here, you want to find out where your boot priority is. So for me, that is in the bottom right corner. And so boot priority, and you want to drag or click or whatever the flash drive all the way to the top. So once your computer boots, it'll actually boot into the flash drive, not what your computer already has, the operating system already has. So once you do that, then you can turn your computer back off and then turn it back on. So you're out of the BIOS now, and you have your flash drive still plugged in. Once you have your flash drive plugged in, then it should boot into the flash drive. If not, then you have done something terribly wrong. Actually, no, you probably just, I don't know, didn't plug it in fast enough or something. But should boot into your flash drive. So it should be booting into a live environment, which basically just means that it's not affecting like your computer. It's just running all the files on memory and your flash drive, essentially. But yeah, so let me just boot into test Linux. So once you boot into your flash drive, you should see something like, not that. That's just VirtualBox. The virtual machine, that is not what you should see. I did that terribly wrong, I guess. So Linux Mint, mount and try again. Yeah, so this is what happens when your computer doesn't see a bootable thing. Okay, let's see. There we go. Yay. Okay. Whoa. Okay. See cursor. Yeah. What you doing here? Enter. Exit. Okay, we're gonna exit full screen. It didn't like that. Okay. There we go. Give it a second. This is also not necessarily what you should see, but it might show this. Yeah, dude, I love Linux. Looks so cool. Yep, you are the #1 chatter. Indeed, that you are. Okay, here we go. So, once you boot into your computer, you should see something like this. Let me just drag it over to the side. So, right now, we are booted on, like, a live flash drive. So, you should see this, and you can, like, act like it's a regular Linux Mint machine. Open LibreOffice, Calendar. So, essentially, you are running it, but it's not installed yet. So, to get it installed, go over to install Linux Mint, just double click it, and give it a second, just because when flash drives are inevitably too slow, flash drives are actually like ungodly slow, so it may take a little bit. For me, I don't know why it's slow, but it could just be that the like Linux Mint ISO is just like massive. So yep, it's thinking, it's trying its hardest. There we go. Okay, so you're just gonna go through this. It's like I said, it's really easy. So keyboard layout, whatever you want. For me, it's just English US, because shocker, I speak English. If you want to do like any sort of opening files, like videos or some video formats at least, and like I said, and like it says at least, properly render some websites, then install multimedia codecs. I would recommend it. You don't have to, though. You can always install these later. So just press continue. It'll install some fancy schmancy stuff. How many chatters we have right now? Just Caroline? Okay, so now is where the real decisions begin. You could, if you set up a partition in your Windows machine, like I could set up, let's not do this on my main screen. No, well, it's going to show up on my main screen anyways. So, excuse me. What you could do is you can open your disk management and show like what you have, and split up get some free, see how much free storage you have in your Windows, like your C drive or whatever. What you can do is split your computer up to run like Linux or Windows. So like when your computer turns on, it's like, hey, do you want to run Linux or Windows? I've done that before. It's really fun, really cool, because you can run Linux natively and Windows natively without having to use some sort of like interpretation layer like a virtual machine. Anyways, so if you want to just like completely install the bloatware off your system, Windows, what you want to do is just erase the disk. Make sure you have all your stuff backed up. If you want an easy way to back stuff up without like connecting cables and hard drives and stuff, what you can do is there are certain tools like Local Send. I would highly recommend something like that. So Local Send, I really love this. Give it a sec. Give it a sec. It's thinking. So yeah, I use Local Send because I just really like it. It's really convenient because you have like one computer and another computer, and you want to transfer big files. What you do is connect to the same network. You probably have them connected to the same network anyways, and have both computers. If you have Local Send installed on both, you can send files back and forth. Like, it doesn't matter the size. So I really love that. Local Send. Come on. It's thinking. Yeah. So Local Send. Really love this. If you're on university Wi-Fi, it might not work just because of the DNS restriction for some stuff. But yep. So back stuff up like that. There are other ways to back it up, like plugging in like hard drives and stuff, and plugging hard drives in and just like copying files. But make sure all your stuff is backed up properly, or else you will have a very bad day. But if you did want to dual boot, you do something else, and then dual boot from there. So anyways, so erase disk and install Linux Mint. If you want to have disk encryption, I would highly recommend it. So encryption is basically like just security at its finest. So you have a file, let's say notes, notes, text editor. Yep, that works. So let's say you have this file, like super secret password, and then the password's like 1234, which, shocker, is the password to my laptop, or this virtual machine. So don't tell anyone. So let's say you have this super secret password. What you can do is you can encrypt it. There's many different forms of encryption, and essentially what encryption is if like a third party, like the FBI, or like even bad people, if they want to see it, if you have it encrypted, all the computer sees is a bunch of random characters, essentially. So it wouldn't actually see a password, because this is what's called a hash. So it's just a bunch of random characters that have been generated from your thing, and you can't decrypt it unless you know the encryption key. So essentially, if you have your computer encrypted, which my computers are encrypted, if the feds or like a bad party wanted to steal my information, they wouldn't be able to unless I had my computers unencrypted and on. So yeah, so I would recommend doing encryption. The only caveat is you need to remember your decryption key. So for my laptop, I'm running Linux Mint on that natively, and every time I have a however many long character password, 20, 30 long characters, and so that encryption key I need to remember. So put it somewhere safe, like a password manager, like LastPass or something like that, so you don't actually remember. Don't like just store it in plain text, because that genuinely just defeats the entire point of encryption. Because like if someone steals your stuff, they're gonna probably have your phone or access to notes or something. So there's a waste. Sure, it is a barrier, but like, yeah, come on, man. Don't just like write it down, because that's the entire point of an encryption key. Is like no one else knows it, you know it, and you're the only one that can get into your information. Yeah, that's literally it. So you ideally want to do is use LLVM encryption, and just check encrypt the hard drive. So that's under advanced features. Press OK, and then install now. Choose a security key. So this is where you choose your encryption key. This is very important. Do not forget. So I'm just going to do 1. And confirm the security key 1. Enable recovery key. If you want to recover your encryption key, what you can do is do enable recovery key. So you want to save this in a safe place as well. So you can actually recover your computer if you don't remember your encryption key or whatever. So, yep, I'm not going to recover it because 1's easy to remember and it's being recorded. So you don't have to override empty disk space, but you can if you want. Just because when a computer, yeah, I'll explain that later. So, look, 1, that's my encryption key. No one would ever guess that. Never. Give it a sec. It's thinking. It is thinking. You know what? I think I'm going to turn on some hacking music. This is my hacking music, my playlist. I love, let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Just make sure this will destroy all data. Yeah, obviously, when you're like formatting, installing an operating system, it's just going to override it. Continue. Unless you're booting. So choose where you are. I'm going to say I'm in Canada. What's my name? I don't know. 1. Computer's name. 1. Pick username. 1. Choose a password, brother. I'm going to start with a lowercase letter. A. A1. Yeah, some sauce. Choose a password. 1. Confirm your password. 1. Everything's 1. Now, everything will be Q. Just Q. 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 No, we gotta have this password the same thing as the encryption key. It's how it works. 1, 1. So lame, you can't do login automatically. You don't have to encrypt your home folder if you've already encrypted your computer, because ideally everything should be, but if you want an extra layer, then you can do that too. So continue. It'll take its sweet old time. Yep. Okay, I don't think we have anyone really watching, but I'm gonna go pee, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm gonna go pee while it does this thing. Okay. I'm back. Let's turn the music back down. Okay. So, it's doing his thing. It's taking his sweet old time. Let me see. I want to see what it's doing. I got my handy dandy breadstick. Super nice. There's not really too many people here. I don't really care, but we have 3 concurrent viewers right now. Whoa. Crazy. How loud is the music? Music too loud? I don't think it should be, but also I'm pretty sure I can try to fix the size settings. I could try to fix the size of this virtual machine, because this virtual machine is too tiny. Tiny. No. Let's go to display. Yeah, let's do it. Apply. Hello? Hello? I guess it's just broken. Oh! No, wait. It didn't like that, whatever that was. Let's try doing full HD. Ah ha ha, there we go. Much better. It really didn't like 1440p, I guess. Really didn't like it. Oh, you gotta love that screen tearing. Look at that. Oh. Because it's easier. I had some comments a while back. Welcome to chat, by the way. I had some comments a while back asking me to help them set up Linux. And Linux Mint is one of the easier ones to do. We also have Ubuntu, which is pretty easy. But I have found in my personal experience, Linux Mint has performed better and kind of just, I don't know. It's better and it I don't know. Yeah, so in my personal opinion, I like Mint just because you can run a lot more applications on it. That's what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, I know there are other operating systems, but I only really have experience with Mint and Ubuntu. I personally run Ubuntu, not Ubuntu. I don't like Ubuntu. I personally run Linux Mint, just because, yeah. I don't know why I can't speak right now. This music's too loud. No, yeah. I just found that Mint is better for my use case. Granted, I just use it for school, so not too crazy. But yeah, welcome to chat. It's the first time I've streamed in a long time, so. Honestly, my setup is super janky right now. I have my microphone that's like in the springs of my bed underneath my mattress, so in between my springs of my bed and my mattress. Yeah, it really, yeah, that is true. For some Linux distributions, I was running Ubuntu on my laptop with a mobile RTX 4060 or 4070. I don't remember what it is. But I was running Ubuntu on that, or trying to at least, and it just wasn't working. Just because NVIDIA's like proprietary drivers like suck, and the open source drivers for NVIDIA like graphics cards also suck. So if you wanted to play games or like unlock the true capability, or just like not run into too many, or be able to use all the power in your system, you want to use the NVIDIA drivers. But the NVIDIA drivers sometimes just wouldn't work. So some apps would just like crash and just like completely not work. And then you would have to roll back your drivers, and then something else would break. And then you'd have to try another set of drivers. And it was just like terrible. And then I switched over to Linux Mint, and I haven't had a single one of those issues. So yeah. Yay! Gotta love NVIDIA proprietary stuff. Okay, so restart. Let's see if this works. Yeah, it really is hot garbage. The only reason I tried installing on that laptop is I have experience with Ubuntu. But yeah, no. Please remove the installation media. Okay, it should be removed. Let's see. Yeah. I know there's like Fedora, and I was trying Linux Mint. Not Linux Mint. Arch Linux. Sup, my dude? Mr. Op? Mr. Anmo? Please unlock disk. Okay. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. I was trying to run... Okay. I would recommend don't run Ubuntu. Please don't run Ubuntu. Just because it is hot garbage, in my opinion. Like Mr. Anmo was saying. I don't run it. I've run it in the past, so I have some experience with it. But I feel like I'm dying over here. Okay, like I was saying, Ubuntu, I'm pretty sure it's like part Debian, part, it's part Debian, part Ubuntu, or, I don't know, something like that. So it's kind of weird with the software that it uses, and some of the stuff is just wonky. I was trying to run 3 monitors on my laptop from Ubuntu. Yeah, no, that didn't work, like, whatsoever. But, yeah, Mr. Gomes. Yeah, so, Linux Mint, if you set it up properly, is pretty good. So, yeah. Okay. Linux Mint, LMD, is it Linux Mint Debian Edition? Okay. Linux Mint is Ubuntu without snaps. Yeah, I knew Linux Mint was Ubuntu based, or it was partially Ubuntu, which is why when you're installing Linux Mint stuff, it's okay to install Ubuntu applications in a sense. But yeah, okay. So I need to unlock my disk. Watch this, y'all. Just the number 1. Bingo. That is such a complex and awesome. It's a secure encryption. It's such a secure encryption key. If y'all do set up encryption, which y'all should, even if y'all aren't like privacy advocates, you really should be like, if you're not a criminal or anything, like everybody should have the right to privacy. I don't know why like governments nowadays really think that like privacy isn't like a right we need. Like I don't get it. Hey, Mr. Drew, welcome, Mr. Happy Place. Yeah, so we're setting up Linux Mint right now, just as your request. So my password is also 1, because of course, why not? Yep, I just set up my machine. But now we are gonna dechromify our life. I know, pretty crazy. Okay, I could just explain everything again, or I could just have you rewatch the video. But I know since this is live, it's not as fun just to go back. So let me just where my oh, there you go. So the website you get files on. I'm running Linux Mint right now just for the demonstration. I would recommend running Linux Mint just because it's the easiest, most user-friendly Linux distribution that I'm aware of, at least. I don't know, there could be like a dumbed down version. But for my use case, I much prefer Linux Mint just because it's pretty easy to use and you don't need to like run a lot of stuff through command line. I know like the command line is super intimidating. Like as soon as a YouTube video pulls up, you're like, oh, it's scary. But in Linux Mint, it's not as heavily terminalized. Ooh, sounds fancy. Terminalized. Okay. So what you want to do is, let's open Firefox real fast. Well, right node. Yeah, not the best for like new or like good hardware, but I don't think many of us here are running like high-end hardware. Heck, I'm a college student. Are you kidding me? Okay, so skip. It's bright. What weirdo has it in bright mode? Okay, dark. Enable. Okay. I'm alive again. Okay. Okay, so what you want to do, you can, like I said, run Linux Mint. I would suggest running Linux Mint, especially as a new user. But so Linux Mint. Like I said, you can go back, like after the stream's done, and look at like the specific details. So you just download from like the official server, or the official website. Just try not to like download some sketchy ISO file, because there are definitely spoof websites. I don't think it would take me that long just to find some spoof websites that are like trying to steal your information. So yeah, just install from official sources. Don't necessarily always click the first link. Don't ever click the sponsored link anyways, kind of thing. But yeah, you also, Mr. Drew said that you wanted to de-Chromify your life. So like stop using Chrome. And Linux Mint, shocker, doesn't have Chrome installed already by default, which is great. Chrome spies on us too much. Too many companies spy on us. Windows spies on us. Microsoft. Windows said that as if it was a company. Microsoft spies on us. Basically, every company spies on us. But we can help combat that by using open source tools and privacy focused material. So for I just boo Chrome. What I would do, I mean, this is just me. I run Linux, and at college, like, if I need to take a test on, like, the stupid, like, malware they have you install, like, the spyware, for, like, taking tests, like, what's the one? Like, Lockdown Browser. Dude, I hate that so much. It takes way too much information, like, way too much information that schools... My teacher doesn't need to know, like, my exact information of my hardware. Like, who gives a crap? So what I do is like, I just go to the computer labs. That might not be like an option for you, but like I try my very hardest not to give some random corporations information that they don't need. Like I don't know who Lockdown Browser is owned by. I don't know if they're gonna sell my information. Just because they say, oh, it's encrypted, doesn't mean it's encrypted. Doesn't mean they won't sell my information. Yeah, no, I really don't like Chrome. So, I prefer Firefox. I know some people don't like Firefox, and there has been some controversy in the near past. But you can also use Brave. But my yeah, well, I guarantee you Google does sell your information. So yeah, it's funny. The AIs in general kind of just suck, just because they're like us humans. Stop. And if they don't know an answer, they'll just make it up. It's called AI hallucination. But Omarchy. Is that an operating system or is that like a browser? Omarchy. Oh, dude, it's a fork of Arch. Oh yeah, 555 subs. Yay. I don't really care about my sub count. It's a fork of Arch. Dude, one of these days I really want to run Arch. I know I'm running Linux Mint right now. That's just kind of so I can get experience with Linux, but I definitely need to run Arch one of these days. But I was I'm pretty sure, yeah, RetroArch. I was trying to install Arch via RetroArch, not RetroArch. What was I thinking? Not RetroArch. Oh, I'm trying to remember. It was a easier version of Arch. Not RetroArch. I don't know. I don't know what I'm thinking. My mind went blank. But yeah, I want to run Arch someday. But let me fix my display real fast. So y'all can maybe hopefully see better. There we go. Keep new configuration. Let's see what'll throw us about me running 1440p again. Yeah, I didn't like that. I don't know why. Dude, VirtualBox, it runs perfectly fine in native resolution, but I don't know. Virtualization is not too happy right now. Give it a sec, and then I'll go over some like privacy focused. Yeah, so I would recommend installing Linux or any sort of operating system that you're about to run on a virtual machine, just so you can, you know, get your hands dirty and get used to how it runs. Yeah, so I would recommend VirtualBox, easiest and fastest in my experience, free virtual machine. I know there are other ones that are better out there, like VMware, but I'm pretty sure that isn't free. So I use VirtualBox, just set up a new thing, install the ISO file, like Linux Mint, and then run through the installation steps. Okay, a VirtualBox here. So yeah, just virtualbox.org, I guess. Yeah, all good. It's white mode. Oh, I need to install dark mode. My eyeballs. I hate that so much. What? I think whoever's at like the main these corporations that like set light mode as the main default, they need to be like psychologically tested. Because no one takes a look at, look at this, ready? Let me turn dark mode off. No one takes a look at this and says, oh my gosh, that looks great. That looks great. Not that. Okay. Okay. So you want to install VirtualBox, get that all installed. So just do download. And dude, I've downloaded this stuff like a long time ago. So Windows host, it'll download the exe. Obviously I'm running Linux, so exes don't natively run. I know I could run Wine, but yeah, so download VirtualBox, and then from VirtualBox, let's see, where is it? Once it's installed, you're gonna do like new, find the ISO file, like the Linux Mint ISO that you should have downloaded or downloading, and then from there you can press like start, should be start, and it should run the the virtual machine, as long as you have virtualization enabled in your BIOS. Okay, so let me just show you my awesome browser setup. Oh my gosh, my my chat is like super long on the page. Okay. Hey! Dude, this is... why is chat so big? Okay. Welcome to Update Manager. Yeah? I, as a cybersecurity major, have downloaded a rat onto your machine. A remote access Trojan. Now I have access to all your files. No, it's VirtualBox is open source. I'm pretty sure it should be open source. Actually, I could be making stuff up. I'm pretty sure is VirtualBox open source? VirtualBox, Oracle VirtualBox. Yeah, it's open source. Okay, so now I'm going to set up my browser. Just because I don't like native like Chrome browsers. Yeah, just go with basic mode. You really don't need all the fancy schmancy stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna go to Firefox right here. Oh, my thing is in the way. My beautiful face. Why are you in the way? Just make it a little smaller. A little smaller. A little smaller. There we go. Alrighty. Hopefully it's working for you. Okay, so now hopefully you can see it's cluttered on my screen. I'm sorry. See this better. So this is my general settings for running Firefox. So Firefox Home is fine. So web search, turn shortcuts off. I turn the recommended stories. I don't want any of like the random like sponsored material like when you open. I don't want to when I open my web browser like smack with like ads because like ads are all over the internet. And then I'll show you some extensions that I personally use that I think help make exploring the internet better. Okay, so general, dark mode, of course. Don't be a psycho. Fonts, regular stuff, fine. I always click this. Okay, I'm gonna turn chat. Okay, this is bothering me. Chat is way too big. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna crop that real fast. Top 50. No. Virtual machine failed to boot. That might be caused by missing operating system or misconfigured boot order. Mounted and operated. We'll attempt to mount it. I had to remove half of that. The heck does it mean? It really depends. Here, give me a sec. So the virtual machine failed to boot, and that might be caused by missing operating system. Let me see. I'm not actually sure. It could just be because you incorrectly set the machine up. It very well could be. Blah blah blah. Yeah, so you need to install the virtual machine. Yeah, you need to install the virtual machine. You need to probably just like see if, I don't know, does it show up a little? Yeah, maybe you didn't mount the ISO. That's what I'm trying to say. Thanks, Mr. Amnell. I don't know why I'm bad with words right now. Yeah, you probably might not just have mounted the ISO. If it's not mounted, then that means the computer doesn't know where to look for, like... yeah, basically, when you have something mounted, it's like what the computer knows what to do. Yeah, so for me, let's find VirtualBox. Just go to settings. You downloaded it via torrent? What torrent file? So you didn't just download an ISO file? So what you want to do, yeah, so you want to directly download it. Torrent's great, except for you need special software to figure that stuff out. So Linux Mint, ISO. So just go to the download page. Like, let's just say Cinnamon, for example. Yeah, so that's the torrent download. What you want to have, just like scroll a little further down and you'll go to, like, just pick a server. It doesn't really matter. So Clarkson University, and then that'll start downloading your ISO file. And so that's what your issue is. You're essentially just like giving the computer the wrong type of file. It's like trying to open a movie file in Notepad. It just won't work. Okay. Now that we got that hopefully figured out, I'm gonna get back to fixing my browser. So I always ask where to save files. That is, as a cybersecurity major at least, where a lot of websites kind of get you is when you go to a specific website, it'll automatically start downloading files because that's what you've given it permission to do. So what I do is check mark that always ask to where to save files, where it might be a little annoying, but you'll also know when something is like downloading and where it is. You can change. So yeah, I always check that. This stuff doesn't really matter. I always check the ask whether open save files as well. The stuff just kind of doesn't really matter. Home, I think I've already changed that. Yep. So it's looking a lot cleaner already. So what you want to go to is privacy and security. I always do strict, but some websites don't work under that, so you can always do standard. Standard is fine for most of your everyday stuff. Normally I would say like do this, but also like that makes like if someone's trying to track you, then they know that, oh, this guy doesn't want to be tracked, so you're an easier target, kind of essentially. And what I also do, I would highly recommend this. You don't have to, but every time my browser closes, it deletes all of my cookies and all of my history. The reason I do this is just so that a lot of malware and a lot of viruses kind of feed are directly correlated or like are caused by this like cookie thing. Because a lot of malware, like even YouTube, one of the main ways that YouTube channels are stolen is through a malicious like PDF file or malicious file that essentially steals your cookies. So your session cookie for what, let's say YouTube, so that they can sign into your YouTube account without needing to have 2FA or even, you know, password or anything. So what I do is I just, you know, say, hey, delete my cookies in the site data when Firefox is closed. Nice. Yeah. So yeah, that's why I would suggest just delete your cookies and site data just for privacy's sake. And then even better, excuse me, if you're like, I'm tired of logging into 1,000 different websites, what you can do is install something like LastPass. So that would be under LastPass extension Firefox. Don't worry, I'll change the default search engine from Google. So yeah, I didn't know you could download straight from. So just go to the thing, add to Firefox. Bingo. Now you have LastPass. Now you don't have to log into sites a bazillion different times. Every time you open your browser, trust me, the pain will pay off. Okay, so let's make me a little bigger, Okay. There we go. So now that it's added, okay, blah, 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 and then you set up your account. You can set up a free account. So now that you've got, like, your cookies and stuff, I always turn this off. Ask to save passwords. Now that you have a password manager, you don't need to save passwords, especially since a lot of browsers, even for, like Chrome, if you like have your password saved in Chrome, immediately change your passwords and delete them from your like Chrome, because like they're global and you can easily be like hacked in that sense. So don't do that. You can show alerts about password breach, but you won't have passwords in this, so it won't matter. I turn autofill off. Firefox will never remember history. Yeah, you can always like add exemptions, like for certain websites and stuff. There we go. Now I have to go all the way back. Ugh, so terrible. So back to privacy and security. So yeah, always use private browsing mode. That's basically what I do. You don't have to. You don't have to be this like stringent, but host name. That's just like for connecting to your virtual machine if you wanted to locally. Just ignore that section. So a host name is like, for example, I have. Oh, thanks. Is the music too loud? Is it quiet enough? Whatever. This is my music that I play whenever I'm like hacking. Legally, of course. I'm a cybersecurity major. So whenever I'm coding or whatever, this is my music. So yeah, I have this jamming in the background and I'm like fully focused. And I feel like super cool whenever whenever I'm like typing away. I love it so much. It's a playlist that I made on Spotify. It's probably like 2 hours long. There's some really good songs in here. I really love it. Anyways, back to this. So permissions for location, I always set this to block new request to access your location. Obviously, you don't want a website to ask for your location. Granted, you have to consent to giving them your location, but you might misclick. And now some random Chinese website or whatever has your location. You don't want that. Same thing for camera as well. I usually block new request, and then if I want to add like an exception, I'm pretty sure you can just do it from here. But yeah, so block new request. Same thing for microphone. You don't want to like be giving some random like websites like private information. Every tidbit of information they can get on you is more OSINT that they can use against you. So I know speaker selection, that doesn't really matter. Notifications, some beer, yeah. I can't drink yet, but amen, brother. So same thing for notifications. This is what a lot of scam websites use for essentially. I might have to cover this later, like in later streams. But essentially, for notifications, they can show pop-ups on your main operating system. You don't want that, especially since a lot of these scam websites, they'll like target you in a sense like your account has been compromised or whatever. Click here, and this will be like a legit looking notification, and it's like, no, it's really not. So block new requests for notifications. Some websites actually use this. Specify the VM's hardware resource will not be available to us when this. So when you're setting up you're still setting up the virtual machine, right? What you want to do is just give it enough resources that the machine should be able to run. Like mine, I'm running like 16 gigs of RAM. So just give it 2 to 4 cores for your CPU. If your computer doesn't have that many, just give it about like a quarter to a fourth. A quarter to a fourth. I know, shocker. But give it a quarter to a half of the amount of cores you have. What are you on? So, new hardware. So, is this what you're talking about? Specify. I don't know what you're talking. I think you're just like crazy. You could just be crazy. Specify hardware. Specify virtual hardware. Are you talking about like under settings? You're still setting it up, so. Anyways, back to this. Yeah, so block notifications. Unless you're like die hard on like getting spam notifications, I would highly recommend turning notifications off. Autoplay. Yeah. Yes and no. If you install some like resource manager like uBlock Origin, resource manager, get what I'm saying? Then you ideally wouldn't need autoplay blocked, but you can just block it anyways. Do have plop up windows turned on and warn you about when websites try to install add-ons, because real shocker, website can install add-ons for whatever flipping reason. Like why without my permission? Yeah, whatever. I've seen it happen before. My personal experience. Also, I know Firefox means good with this, but just don't send them your data, please. And do not let them run studies. I know you're like, okay, whatever. They're an open source organization, but yeah, until they get hacked and their information on you is scraped and stolen. So, that's how it is. So, no, turn this off. Block dangerous and deceptive content. Yep, you ideally want to do that too. For me, I like to do enable HTTPS. PPS. Oh yes, the usual HTTPS. No, the HTTPS only mode. Just so certain websites, if they don't have a good signed a certificate, or they're not running securely, to kind of like take advantage of some like vulnerabilities of like HTTP only vulnerabilities, then just turn this on. What's the point of websites being allowed to sell you information? They say that. What's the point of websites being allowed to sell you information if you say they can, when nobody reads the things put there and you literally don't get anything by saying yes, but your privacy invaded? That's like that's like a big can of worms. So basically, it's got to do with like the legal like aspects of it. So let's say you're installing Google Chrome. They have their like 4,000 page TOS. It's not really that long, but like really long TOS. You're like, nah, I'm not going to read that. But somewhere in that TOS, it says something like, we can use your data however we like. And the only reason that, you consent to doing it, because number one, you're using the application, and number two, number one, you're using the application, and number two, you said, I agree. So even though you didn't read through all of it, they can still use that as legal evidence, or legal like a legal binding contract against you. It's same thing with like real life contracts. It doesn't give you anything though. For like, it just gives you issues with privacy. What do you mean? Dude, these breadsticks are fire. I stole them from the cafeteria. Didn't steal them, but great. Just gives you issues with privacy. Dude, there's so many issues with privacy, though. Like, I'm not sure it specifically... Oh. Yeah, well, if you agree to something and, like, the company can't, like, secure their information... Like I said, I'm a flippin' cybersecurity major, so, like... Granted, I'm not, like, the smartest guy around when it comes to cybersecurity. I haven't, like, done a whole lot of, like, super cool stuff. Yeah, it really depends. Because some companies, when they're breached and their information's stolen, like, yeah, that's, like, bad on them. But it's like, oh, well, screw y'all. Like, it's not our information. Like, a company, oftentimes, they don't really care about you or your information. All they see is, like, monetary value. And so they're like, oh my gosh, we might get sued for this. They're like, oh crud. And it's just like a bad look on them. There have been lots of data breaches in the past. And companies just kind of, or like us as humans, as a society, we just, oh, why am I studying? We just kind of forget about certain stuff like that. Just because that's how it is. Like, there have been some major data breaches. And there's a really cool website. Welcome, Mr. Funnabear. See, the issue with that is companies don't want to spend that kind of money. And oftentimes, some companies don't really care. I'm just going to be point blank. Companies just don't care. Google doesn't care. They have a whole sector for, like, your personal information, and, like, they know all about you. Like, even if you're like, oh, I have perfect OPSEC, and I'm the perfect person with, like, security, I have encryption. Yeah, but if you're still, like, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. So if you're still, like, running Chrome and stuff, yeah, you're gonna have information stolen from you. And good security, it's, like, all very subjective, because even, like, our own government has been hacked in the past, just because, you know, we have China has their nation-state hackers trying to hack us. We've got our nation-state hackers trying to hack them. So it's very much like a cyber war to some extent. So you can't necessarily, like, have good security. And that's why people like me come into the question. So when companies are, like, starting up, or they're not sure if they have, like, any, like, big vulnerabilities, they have two options. Actually three. The two, like, ideal options. Number one, either companies hire hackers or, like, cybersecurity experts to hack them, essentially, and they get paid for that. Or you have a red team in the company that is their whole thing is hacking the company. Or you just have they have what's called bug bounty programs. And bug bounty programs are basically, like, you hack certain companies and you responsibly disclose it to the company, give them a report, how you did it, how you can replicate it, and then the companies will pay you a certain amount for that information that you hack them. So it's kind of like an incentive not to, you know, use it for evil when, you know, companies are like, oh, we have a bug bounty program. Like, Google has a bug bounty program. Most corporations have bug bounty programs. So, yeah. Yeah, it really is hard. It depends on how far you want to go with it. Yeah, I am not, like, the most secure guy around. Like, granted, I run encrypted systems. I run virtual machines whenever I need to run a piece of software that I'm not so sure about. Like, I'm pretty decent with my OPSEC. Like, better than the average person. But I'm not the best friend. Like, hardcore, like, either cyber criminals or journalists will go, like, to extreme lengths to not have their information stolen and to keep their information secure. Like, there's this operating system, Tails. It's bright mode. My brain. I thought I just installed the dark mode extension. No. Dark mode. My gosh. Oh, I do. In the world? Allow. There we go. So, Tails? No, it's Tails. OS. OMRG is encrypted by default. I mean, that's good. Tails OS. There we go. Hardcore, like, journalists and, like, cyber criminals, they use this. Tails is essentially, you boot off of a flash drive, like you will do if you install a new, like, operating system. You boot off this flash drive, and you basically run your entire system on memory. Nothing saved to, like, storage. Everything's on memory. And it's just, once the computer turns off, it's gone. Like, completely gone. Because there's a difference between storage and memory. Memory is, like, temporary space where the computer does stuff. Tails, pretty sure it runs almost entirely on memory, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So, do you need to use secure boot? You don't have to. I'm not actually sure. If you are dual booting, then you might get issues if you're using secure boot. But I'm not actually sure, because I'm pretty sure I have secure boot installed, or on my laptop. Linux. You're not dual booting? I'm pretty sure you can have secure boot on. I would highly recommend it anyways. Try it with secure boot enabled, and if it's not working, then try it without secure boot. But in most situations, go with the more secure option. Don't go the easy route. Go the, like, safe and secure route. It's just like a general rule of thumb for life. Then try not using secure boot. EFI error. Okay. That could also be, that could be a number of issues. I'm not sure. Goes away after booting. Okay, then it might not be super important, because if an error comes, like, some systems just have errors. Yeah, then it shouldn't be too much of an issue. So yeah, Tails, open source. Pretty sure it's open source. Open source? Question mark? I don't know, regardless. Yep. Yay! Cool. Did you actually get it working? Your virtual machine working? Okay. Back to this. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Yeah, I'm about to shower and get ready for bed anyways, too. So, you won't miss anything. What was I talking? If you want to go super hardcore, enable your own DNS. I'm not going to go into depth on how to do that, because frankly, I don't really know how to do that quite yet. But DNS is basically domain name system is what tells your computer what website to go to. So when you give the DNS, or when you try to request a website from your computer communicates with your router's DNS. It's like, hey, I want to connect to youtube.com, let's say. And then it's like, your computer asks DNS, hey, do you know that website? And then the DNS like, hey, let me index all my stuff and make sure. And so it looks through all its stuff and it's like, okay, cool. The IP address of YouTube is this. Gives it back to you. And so now you have the IP address, and that's what your computer connects to. So let's actually see what is the. No, I'll figure that out later. But yeah, so that if you want to have like custom DNS rules, then do that there. So yeah, that is how you set up a pretty private-ish browser. And the great thing about it is now like you're running in private mode, so your history isn't saved. You aren't saving any cookies. Another great thing. Yeah, Cloudflare is great. If you set up a Raspberry Pi, you can also do set up a Pi-hole. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, set up Pi-hole for like network-wide ad blocking and custom DNS. I'm actually not sure if it's custom DNS, but I think that's just routing. No, I lied. I'm pretty sure the Pi-hole is just taking the internet traffic, blocking ads, and then just regurgitating non-ad Wi-Fi. That stuff's pretty neat. Okay, what was I? Oh yeah, no, uBlock. So now, yeah, I don't have like a Firefox profile. I don't log in. If I don't like having more accounts than I need to. Oh, why is this so bright? Okay, you weirdos. It's literally. Oh, there we go. Whew. I'm about to go blind. Okay. The thing is, you're gonna have okay, a cool website. Get a Flint 2 and set up a VPN using WireGuard with default. Yeah, that works too. If you want to go like in, yeah. So was that actually? I'm not too familiar with like. I'm pretty good with most stuff, just not with like network protocols and that stuff. Yeah. So I haven't been pwned. Definitely recommend it. Interesting. Mr. Richard. Does it still work though? If your computer works fine, then I wouldn't give it too much whatchamacallit? Too much worry. Flint 2. Okay. So it is hardware. Okay. So yeah, I think this is like the higher end version of like Pi-hole, where you can, yeah. So this that's actually pretty cool. So this is like setting up your own VPN, but like a local VPN, so you can connect elsewhere. That's cool. Yeah, you should be fine then. Try to update your system. Update. You said you were using Linux. Yeah. But something like this, that's cool. Okay. Anyways, yeah, so uBlock Origin, highly recommend. Okay. Oh, no, wrong thing. Yep. So, no. Okay, well, I'm gonna hit the stack, go shower and stuff. But, you know what? I will try to stream at some point. All good. Yep, I think that's good for the night for me. But thank you all so much for watching. Try to stream more. Yep. I hope you like have a good installation. Because sometimes Linux is just weird with the way it wants to handle stuff. So yep. Yeah, you too. God bless y'all, and I guess I'll see y'all next time. Yeah. Peace out.